Hello and welcome to another interesting episode of All Things Considered on Per Second News Podcast. I'm still your favorite host, Yemi Balogun. First of all, I'd like to appreciate you for listening to our last episode, and most importantly, thank you for your likes and your share. Thank you so much, they went a long way. And today we will be looking at a very crucial topic, which is media restriction today will harm democracy tomorrow. But before we go into the discussion proper, let me quickly take this quote by Thomas Jefferson. It says, "Our liberty depends on the freedom of the press, and that cannot be limited without being lost." Thomas Jefferson wrote in 1786. Now you would agree with me that one of the things that a democratic government comes with is freedom. And when you restrict the media, there is no more freedom, because the media is supposed to project the thoughts of the people to the government and serve as a watchdog to the society, and most importantly, hold the government accountable. Because a free and independent press has been theorized to be a key mechanism of a functioning, healthy democracy. In the absence of censorship, journalists exist as a watchdog of private and government action. They provide information to maintain an informed citizenry. So it is not out of place to say that the freedom of the press is critical to a democracy in which the government is held accountable to the people. Now, the role of the news media in our society today has become a constant battleground between the media and the government. In an international poll in 2020, 65% of people had a high degree or a fair amount of trust in the news media to fairly report the news. But government in Nigeria attack the credibility of the news media almost daily, especially the online media. Now, what is the role of the news media in our society today, and what rights and legal protections guard the news media against encroachment by government? Also, to whom do protections for news media apply in an era in which the internet and social media platforms make everyone a potential publisher? But these days, we see that journalists who report on governments, on public officials and administration across the globe reasonably face a credible amount of government retaliation for carrying out the duties of their professions. And we know that journalists are the bedrock of our society, and so protecting individual rights against those in power who attempt to restrict them is essential to making it possible for everyone to take courageous stands. Those rights we've seen have ensured that Nigerians are free to drive change, and we've witnessed it from the earliest days of the Nigerian Republic. But are we saying the freedom of the press means the news media can say or write anything they want? Of course not. When a newspaper, for example, publishes an information that is considered to be false about a person or an institution, it can be sued for libel. And are we also saying that these media restrictions are deliberately put in place to gag the media, against carrying out the duties of their professions? Well, let's quickly take a pause here while we listen to the opinion of some persons on the topic under discussion, which is media restriction today will harm democracy tomorrow. And when we come back, we will be looking at the responsibilities of the media and the government. Please don't go away.
The recent moves by the government to put in check what they consider to be measures to prevent issues around fake news and then hate speeches, despite being a laudable one, is at best considered to be a knee-jerk reaction to a larger problem that the social media has constituted.
Media restriction is crippling to journalists. It's like asking a flight bird not to fly, not because a flight bird doesn't want to fly, but because its wing has been clipped. This is a way to clip the media, to gag the media, to gag journalists, to prevent us from carrying out our duties and responsibilities.
Welcome back. In case you're just joining, you are listening to All Things Considered on Per Second News Podcast. And we have been talking about a topic which says media restriction today will harm democracy tomorrow. Now, having established the fact that the media is supposed to objectively, project the thoughts of the people to their government and also to serve as a middleman between the government and the people, and also having learned that strong and independent journalism allows us to learn more, to benefit from the experiences of others, to engage in public discussion of issues that affect us all as a society, and more importantly, to hold our government accountable. All right. Now, you and I are aware that journalists enjoy no special rights beyond those of other citizens, and so they must be aggressive in pursuing facts. And indeed, one of the most important functions of a free press is to serve as a watchdog. But its staff members have no dispensation to be rude or discourteous. And also, newspapers and online media need to guard against undue intrusions on the privacy of persons about whom they are reporting. Alright, because truth sometimes has many sides and no one has a monopoly on it. And even in the dedicated pursuit of truth, error is frequent, and that cannot be taken out. And also, innocent persons may suffer due to errors. So a journalist's first obligation is to tell the truth at all times, to be factual, to be balanced and fair. This desire that information be truthful is really very, very elemental and crucial. And so to the government must protect at all times essential roles of journalists in democracy, especially in times of crisis. There should be no state censorship or other undue restriction on the free flow of information. And also, all efforts must be made, to provide and maintain access to the internet and other communication platforms. Also, the federal government should focus on combating falsehoods by delivering clear, accurate and up-to-date information. And in conclusion, to reverse the decline in global press freedom, the people and governments of the world must act now to roll back threats to independent media, because the future of our democracy depends on it. And this is where we call it a wrap for today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. Until we come your way with another interesting episode on Per Second News Podcast, I remain your host, Yemi Balogun. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.